Hey guys, it's Siobhan with 2KD and Beyond. Information that you are going to hear today is brought to you by a Reiki session that I had with a client recently, and I was guided by Spirit, by her higher self, and by her guides to share this information with the collective, as some of the content is relevant to my viewership and beyond. So if you were drawn to this video, you can expect to hear information about the New Earth grid, ascended masters that you can work with, as well as some specific channeled angels that are not just for my client, but I was told that they are also present for all of us to call on based on the energy that they uphold and or the name that they have given in the channeling that I do within the video. I have edited out some of the more personal information as well as the name of the client, but I have received consent to share this with you guys. So I'm very excited to present the Reiki session channeled information from this client's session. So you've got this really nice circulation of energy going through this grid network all around you and connecting to the grid pattern of the earth. Now I'm seeing that as well. So it's like the grid pattern of the earth is kind of like a larger, more macro scale grid connected to and reflective of your grid, and vice versa. So as within, so without, as above, so below, same concept here. Your personal sort of grid that you have around you is connected to that earth grid. And to the universal grid. Okay, they're showing me the universal grid now as well. And it's huge. It's unfathomably large. And it's like the structure of the universe. They're showing me, the sacred geometries. And the fractals kind of look like mandalas. The fractal sort of geometric patterns of the universe's construction. This is basically what the fabric of this reality of the universe is made out of, and several different dimensions as well, layered on top of each other. And that energetic grid network is a reflection of your energy grid, or vice versa. So there's these different micro and macro scale representations of this energy and how it works together, how it communicates. It's like the circulatory system. So everything is moving around constantly, transferring information, going to areas that need healing or that need more support for particular reasons. And this is all light, and light is kind of like the blood. It's liquid light, and this liquid light is transferring information constantly, just like your blood cells have information in them. Your blood it holds your DNA, and it communicates with the DNA that are in the cells. And if there's something that's out of whack or out of alignment, that's communicated throughout the body so that resources can be sent to that area to support healing and realignment. It's the same thing at an energy level, at this massive universal scale. And I'm seeing now the earth in this grid. It's like a tiny little speck at sort of the bottom right hand area of the grid pattern that I'm seeing. And this grid is like a giant circle, is kind of how I'm seeing it. I'm sure that the universe isn't perfectly spherical, but I'm seeing it as sort of circular. The earth is down there on the bottom sort of right hand side. And I can see that there's a lot of energetic resources being sent to it right now because it's going through a major sort of growth period. And this is connected to you. It's connected to us all. But specifically because your question was connected to the next phase of your ascension, well, this is part of it. The next phase of your personal ascension is connected to the ascension of the earth. And this goes for all light workers, starseeds, awakened ones, grid workers, all of these different aspects and fractals of source that have awakened to their source consciousness and who are consciously, intentionally working with energy, with light, with love. All of these beings are connected to this ascension process. And so this is the next phase of your journey in particular, is to assist energetically through this grid network that you've established and that you've been able to maintain over the last few sessions, and which you will continue to maintain for the duration of the rest of your incarnation. So this is part of the connection, right? So as above, so below. As below, so above as well. So it's a reflection, it's mirrored. And as you hold the grid in its integrity within your own energy field, this is reflected at the higher level, both within the Earth's grid itself and the universal grid. So everything is mirroring one another. And the more that you hold that integrity by making choices that are in alignment with you, by staying in an empowered state, by making sure that you are caring for your energy body, your physical body, your mental and emotional bodies as well, that all of these aligned help to align and contribute to the alignment of the universal grid network, and specifically support the ascension of the earth as it's going through this major phase of growing pains, is essentially what they're showing me right now. So there's all of this separation and division and pain and suffering and injustice is a part of this growth. This is the growing pains. Once the growth has taken place, the pain will cease, and we will be left with the result of a more awakened, aware, conscious, and connected planetary system. At that grid network level, this is going to be essentially more fluidity in how information is disseminated and received, as well as how it is integrated, both energetically and through the conscious mind via technology. The part of this that you play is, again, holding your light, holding your integrity, not allowing yourself to get swept up into any chaotic or misaligned energy, basically taking a step back and just allowing things to transpire from a bit more of an objective perspective, and expressing from the heart, speaking, disseminating information, teaching information that comes directly from source, which is transferred and channeled through your heart. So this is coming through words of love, messages of love, information holding the energy of unity consciousness rather than of division or separation, which is the opposite polarity. So your job now is to express that in a way that feels aligned with you, and they're showing me many different options for that. So you don't need to focus too heavily on one particular way of doing it. It's whatever feels aligned for you. There are many options. All of them are good. So there's no wrong choice. When you're in alignment, whatever feels the most inspiring and empowering, just go with that. It doesn't have to be something specific, because whatever you're doing what you need to be doing. There's a time period approaching where things are going to seem a little bit more chaotic, both in the general public, in the world itself, but also in your personal life. So sometimes things can be chaotic on the outside and they don't really have an impact directly on your day-to-day life, and sometimes they do. There's a period approaching now within the next couple weeks, is what I'm seeing, that things are going to get a little bit more chaotic. They just want you to have foreknowledge of this so that you can prepare yourself, not so that you can go into fear. It's nothing that you need to be afraid of or worried about. It's not going to disrupt any relationships that you have, or any of your daily routines or anything like that. You'll just notice that things are a little bit different. It's not going to be madhouse chaos or anything like that. It's not going to disrupt your way of life, is what they're saying. So they don't want you to worry. The point of saying this is not for you to go into fear. It's for you to remain in alignment. So what your task will be through this coming time, which will start to occur within the next couple weeks, and then it will last probably throughout October, a little bit into November, and then things will calm down in December and start to reorient. This is part of the major growth cycle. So this time period is going to be more chaotic for everyone, and it's specifically going to show up in your daily life. So that's why they're bringing this to your awareness particularly. It's not going to be anything that you can't handle. It's not going to create anything that's going to throw you out of alignment. They just want you to know this so you can stay in your highest vibration, having the foreknowledge that, okay, things are going to get a little topsy-turvy, but it's going to be okay. We're going to get through it. And to hold your light, making sure that you are very firm in your soul energy. So not taking on energy from anything that's happening around you situationally or within your relationships. They want to make sure that you are very clear on your energy and where that separation is with other people's. Yes, you are unified with everyone around you. Everyone is a reflection or another self, so to speak. But in this instance, they just want you to be really clear and in your own energy, staying within your own integrity, not worrying so much about what's going on around you. So you'll have this benefit of kind of acting as like the eye of the storm. You know, there's things going on all around you, chaos, but you're in this sort of tranquil, peaceful, calm inner center where it doesn't really touch or affect you in any impactful way. And although you're seeing this chaos around you, it's not really integrating into you, at all. So that's why they want to let you know, is because if this did happen and you didn't have this foreknowledge of it, you might not be as prepared, although you probably would be just, beautifully able to still, hold your light and keep in that peaceful, tranquil state. So it's not like if they didn't warn you of this, then it would all be catastrophe. That's not what they're showing me at all. They're actually showing me that either way, you're good, but having more knowledge is more, leads to more consciousness, which is your greatest power, is to use your consciousness, your focus, your intention for your highest purpose. And that purpose right now is to stay within your peaceful center, to stay centered in the heart, which is the unique and integral aspect of all life, centered in the heart energy. So staying within that is part of the next phase of your ascension. This is almost like a little bit of a test. It's not a test that you can fail. It's just, let's see how stable we are. And it's like, okay, well, let's wait until the first storm and we're going to really see how stable it is if we dug that foundation deep enough. And if not, then it's not a failure. It's just, okay, well, let's dig deeper. Let's root deeper. Let's create more stability, more alignment. Let's make sure that we take that information and use it to increase our productivity or increase our alignment or increase our ability to stay within that peace. So this is the next step, and it is about maintenance, basically, just maintaining your center when everything else is kind of going to shit, is what I heard. Word for word, I'm repeating that, okay? It is something I would say, but I repeated what I heard, and I just got a huge pitch change in my right ear, and I associate the right ear with higher level activations, knowledge, frequency downloads coming directly from the higher self, integrating into the energy body. So they're trying to bring a little bit of humor to it, like, yeah, shit's gonna hit the fan a little bit, but it's just part of this game. So try to look at it from that perspective. Don't let it suck you under. They just don't see, and that's okay. Like a mother watching their child, running around and falling down and scraping their knee. The mother's concerned, but she's also like, well, that's what kids do. They don't know yet, and that's how they learn. Or their child running around kind of getting themselves into trouble. The child's having a wild time, and the mom's just kind of chuckling to herself like, okay, yeah, well, that's what kids do. It's kind of like that. So try to look at it that way. Sometimes when we are triggered and when we're catalyzed for growth, we resist it, especially when it's unfamiliar or we don't know what to do. So, the higher self wanted that. And even though the personal self, the ego resists, which it does, it usually does anyway for most people, and that's okay. Even though the ego resisted initially, the higher self will always win out because it's much more powerful than the ego. So that higher self has kind of stepped in and said, you know what, this isn't so bad. Let's just take a look at this. Let's start to shift energetically and match that energy. It's also partly to do with entrainment. So entrainment is when two vibrations that are different on different wavelengths will often sync up given enough time. Even when one is significantly lower than the other or on a different rhythm. It's not always the case, but a lot of the times this can happen, and the one that is more powerful is usually the one that will win out. You can see this with clocks that you put next to each other, metronomes for keeping time for when you're playing piano or an instrument. If you put two of them next to each other on slightly different wavelengths, they'll sync up eventually. Same thing with birds. That's how they fly in, what do you call those? Murmurations, when they all fly as one unit. Same thing with fish, schools of fish. They do the same thing. It's all entrainment. So they're on the same vibrational frequency, and then they sync up, so they're able to move as one. And as I'm sure you remember, and other people who've been through their awakening can recall, going through that initial phase, or even the second or third wave of awakening, it can be quite disruptive. You have these tower moments where the old foundations that you've built your life on have to come crumbling down, or these old foundations or structures that you've really believed and invested a lot of time and energy into mentally and emotionally have to come down and be deconstructed. So there can be a lot of destruction in that, but it's positive destruction. It's getting rid of the old so that you can build a foundation that is much more in integrity and in alignment, which is what's happening now. This is something that's happening worldwide. All of these old structures are being called into question, and they're crumbling because things need to change. And the only way for change to occur in such a drastic, sort of highly elevated growth cycle is for destruction to take place, because otherwise change would have to happen at slower increments and much more gradually, and there would be little bits of destruction and then rebuild and then little bits. But the fact that we're ascending quickly, and so this is being kind of blown up, right? It's being exacerbated. We can really see what's happening, and it's reflected in the daily lives of yourself and a lot of other people around you and in the world at large. So there's a lot of breaking down of things that don't work, and to do that, there needs to be acceptance of that, because if there's resistance, it can lead to a little bit more dysfunction. But ultimately, the end result is the same. It's like your mom taking you to school when you're a kid. You can go holding her hand and walking happily, or you can go kicking and screaming. Either way, you're going to go to school. I love that they're showing me these kind of analogies with the mother, because that's kind of what this energy is. It's a very motherly, divine feminine, loving, nurturing energy to do with the divine feminine principle, which is nurturing, receptivity, flow, connectivity, everything being this interconnected web. And that's why they're showing with this network where everything's connected and all of this is flowing very naturally. And at a universal level, we are collectively rebalancing the energy of the divine feminine. As the divine feminine is the creator energy, the divine masculine is the seed, it is the void, and the feminine is the creative energy that births that seed into life. And sometimes they switch roles. That's interesting. Sometimes the feminine is the void and the masculine is the creator. That's interesting. So it's both, because they're one energy. It's yin and yang. What's happening at a global and universal scale is the rebalancing of the feminine energy, specifically within this quadrant of the universe. So this part of the grid, which has been a little bit more dominated by the masculine energy, not just here on Earth, but Mars, Maldak, even some of the other collective consciousnesses like the Syrians. There was a lot of feminine there, but it was balanced quite nicely with the masculine. It was just in certain areas that the masculine started to become a little bit to outweigh the feminine, which is not a bad thing. It's part of balance. The pendulum swings sometimes a little too much this way, too much that way, and then it centers. So this divine feminine energy is another part of your divine ascension process. This is something that you are here to embody. This will be, again, through what you share and how you share it. So sharing information from that very divine feminine, heart-centered, nurturing, loving, caregiver type of energy that you have within you. Channeling that to the world. Just being present with their people will also help to entrain their energy up to your vibration in their own unique way. So you're not making their energy your energy. Their energy is still unique to them, but you're just allowing them the access to a higher vibration than potentially what they've been at. And especially when you hold the light of source. So ground yourself, visualize that light coming in through the heart or through the top of your head or through your feet or all of the above. Visualize that light surrounding you and filling your body, and just radiate that out. Just practice that on a daily basis when you're doing your morning routine, or when you're sitting with your loved ones, or when there's something chaotic going on. Just practice holding that light. Make it a routine. Make it like a knee-jerk reaction that every time anything happens, the first instinct is, okay, let's channel some light. Let's get that love energy flowing through the body and exude that out of every molecule of your being. And if you ever feel lost, ask for specific guidance on the next step, each step of the way, because there's going to be lots of little steps in between, right? But this is the big next step, what they're showing here with the next couple of weeks, a little bit of chaos, holding that energy in your personal integrity, making sure that you are grounded and aligned, having this very peaceful perspective, a little bit of humor as things start to kind of break down, and knowing that this is for the better, it's for the best, it's part of this process. It's like when you're remodeling a house. You have to tear things up. Everything starts to look really chaotic. There's stuff everywhere. You're exposing all of the rot underneath. It looks terrible. It looks chaotic, and you would not want to live in that or stay in that forever. But then as you keep going, you trust the process and you start to see it come together. You start laying new flooring, painting the walls, fixing up the holes, insulating, doing all of the things. And then it still looks a bit crazy, but it's starting to make progress. And then eventually, once the foundation is set, the flooring is down, the walls are painted and dried, then you can start to decorate and make it beautiful and lush and livable. And that's kind of what we're doing now at a collective level. And that's also specifically what you're doing in your life. And that's what the people around you are going to be sort of playing out that part of some things kind of needing to be deconstructed so that they can be refurbished, so to speak, remodeled. So trust that process, trust yourself. And yeah, like they're reminding again to reach out to them. You have a big team behind you. You've got lots of ascended masters and guides on your side. You've got your own personal guides, of course, that help you with your individual sort of life lessons. But then you've also got a host of ascended masters, a lot of divine feminine ascended masters. So I see Kuan Yin, Mother Mary, I see A1 Sophia, a little bit of Sekhmet Bastet energy as well. Yeah, lots of the divine feminine archetypes. Mother Earth, Gaia, very sort of soft, gentle energy, but very strong nonetheless. So, for example, Sekhmet Bastet. Bastet is like the nurturing, healing aspect of her. That she's an Egyptian goddess. And then Sekhmet was known as the destroyer. So she was the one who would come in and she would get really upset when there was injustice, and she would destroy and deconstruct and go on these murderous rampages. But it was for the purpose of cleansing. It was for the purpose of getting rid of the old things that didn't work. And then her other side would be activated, which would come in and heal and nurture and be very gentle. So it's the polarity that the feminine has. And I think Sekhmet is a really great example of that, because she has those dual aspects of the same type of energy, the polarity of destruction and construction, of healing and of disease or imbalance. And, it's both of those things. And you get to choose which one you work with predominantly. And I'm seeing a team of angels as well. So these are a little different. The archetypes, the goddesses, that kind of thing, they're ascended masters more so in the sense that they've either been created by humanity as archetypes to uphold certain themes or energies, or they've actually walked the earth and they've ascended and been embodied as that archetype. And the angels are a little different. You've got a sort of a legion is the word I heard. You have a legion of angels on your side. I'm seeing them in kind of like rows, very structured, very organized. There's a host of them. Now, these aren't archangels per se, but they function very much the same. But these are more so for specific purposes, where archangels are more universal and anyone can call on them. And they uphold, the more expansive archetypes of that energy, like Raphael holds the energy of healing, and Michael is protection and clearing, that kind of thing. This is more so finite. These angels are more specific. And they're not just specific in their own energy and what they uphold, but they're also specific in how they help you and what they're assigned to do. And they are assigned to you. If you have a big mission, you need a big team. It's a team effort, right? You're not meant to do a big mission all on your own. It just wouldn't be practical, right? It's like a CIA agent going on like a big mission overseas. They need a big team of people. They need the hacker, the scanner, the battle one. You know what I mean? Like there needs to be different people playing different roles. And you work cohesively as a team to achieve the ultimate goal of that mission. And that's what's happening with you here on Earth. And there's many others like you who have these teams as well. This is a big mission that you're fulfilling. You don't necessarily see how much of an impact you're having, but we do. That's what they say. We do. We see it. And other people will feel it too, even whether they realize it consciously or not. So call on your team. There's specific angels for specific purposes. So get to know them, get to work with them. Can we get more information on what each individual angel is here to support within this mission? Okay, you have the angel of compassion coming forward. So this is helping with areas that are in need of more compassion in your life, either for yourself or for the people around you. And this is basically just to help support your own energy of compassion within you. All of these angels, they don't fix the problem. They just give you access to the resources so that you can find a solution for yourself. That's how they work. They don't do it for you. They give you the resources, because you're the one on the ground. So if we go back to the CIA analogy, you're the one who's on the ground infiltrating, the warehouse or whatever it is. And you got your team giving you information. Okay, there's a bad guy up ahead on the left-hand side. Don't go down that corridor. Or you've got double flanks coming in on the other side, that kind of thing, right? They're giving you information that you can then use based on your individual skill set and put that into action. Okay, so angel of compassion. Okay, what else? Angel of awareness. So this angel helps you to not only gain awareness for yourself, but also to share that. It's basically like a light switch that you turn on and you can see everything more clearly. So if you're ever kind of feeling like things are fuzzy or in darkness or you're a little confused, call on the angel of awareness. He's going to come in and help to clarify and help you to clarify for other people as well. So you'll help to shine that light, and whether they want to open their eyes and use the light that's around them to see what's going on is up to them. It's not your responsibility, but you've got access to shining that light, which is great. Okay, thank you. Next. This is funny. This angel came forward and he's like, the angel of bulldozing. What? And he's like beefy. He's like big and bulky. It's so funny. He's bringing humor to it, but again, I'm getting that pitch change in my right ear. This is a big thing. Bring humor to it. It's really, really important because it keeps the vibration very light. So he's like this big, beefy, bulky guy, like muscles. And he comes in, I'm the bulldozer. So he's the one who helps you to plow ahead when things seem like they're in your way or when the terrain gets rough. The bulldozer comes in to make a path. It's like a little bit forceful, but in a good way. It's supportive force where it's needed. It's assertiveness. It's making sure that you're not going to let things stop you when it's connected to your divine mission or it's connected to your alignment. Next. Oh, it's like a little girl angel, and she's the angel of innocence. So she helps you to activate and connect to that very innocent, very childlike, playful energy that allows you to have compassion for the innocence of humanity and to understand and empathize with the compassion and innocence within yourself as well. She also brings play. Innocence is optimism, playfulness, imagination, creativity, feeling kind of carefree, immersed in the human experience, really enjoying things as if you're doing it for the first time. That's what she brings as well. So you can call on her when you need that. This one came for, he rips up contracts. So he helps you to end karmic contracts for yourself and for other people that are out of alignment. Yeah, he's like a legal angel. He helps to shred those contracts that don't make sense energetically. All right. Who's next? Anyone else want to come forward? Okay, they're getting funnier as we go along. I feel like the first few angels were very serious and, like I uphold this archetype, and now they're getting more and more silly after like bulldozer guy. This next one is Melissa, the melodramatic. I swear, you can't make this stuff up. So what her job is she helps to calm down you and other people when things get kind of melodramatic. So when things get very sort of emotionally over the top, which can happen, right? We're humans. We feel emotions very deeply. When things occur, our ego will tend to dramatize them. And that's healthy. That's normal. It's about regulating. And so that's what Melissa, the melodramatic, helps you to do, is to regulate some of that melodrama that can arise within human existence. So she helps to calm some of that tendency towards taking things up to too much of a high level of emotional reactivity. So she helps to regulate that. All right. Anyone else? This angel step forward. Theocracy, government by divine guidance or by officials who are regarded as divinely guided. Oh. In many theocracies, government leaders are members of the clergy, and the state's legal system is based on religious law. Okay, so this angel is here to help you, not in the specific terms of the human aspect of theocracy. This is an angelic aspect of theocracy. So this is angelic guidance, divine guidance to help shift the mentality around government and the ruling sort of class. I think you'll be able to use this in terms of how you interact with new government protocols or rules or anything like that. So this is being able to govern yourself based on divine guidance. So creating a theocracy for yourself. And his name is Theo. Theo the Theocratic. How appropriate. Okay, are there any others who would like to come forward? Okay, we have an angel of compromise here. No name, just angel of compromise. So he helps you to balance things out, to compromise, to create a middle ground, a middle way, a solution that works for everybody. To create win-win situations. His type of compromise is not about sacrifice. It's about finding mutually beneficial methods. Yeah, okay, thank you. Next. Okay, we have Sophia, the Earth Angel. So she's connected to the energy of the earth itself. She helps to guide you to certain locations. So you might feel compelled to just walk down to a certain area to connect to a tree or to drive somewhere on a whim or something like that. So Sophia is guiding you to certain locations because you do this grid work energetically, unconsciously, and you don't necessarily have to do it consciously. Just allowing that process to take place, your energy does the rest. So just following your intuition, go exploring. It doesn't have to be far, even at just little short 10-minute drives to different locations. Okay, we have Damon the Destroyer. He's this energy sort of destruction, but in a good way. So he's wearing like all black, but he's not like it's not a bad thing. It's just the polarity of the energy of destruction it's a little bit of a darker type of energy, an angel nonetheless. And he represents this ability to destroy what does not work or what is not in alignment at soul level. What is not spiritually integrous. He helps to break those systems down. So you can call on him if you're needing help to get rid of something that is detrimental to you. Anything from, an eating habit that is not serving you, something like cupcakes, pastries, that kind of thing. So this instance, Damon would come in. He would help to destroy or break down the foundation that led to the reliance or the dependence on that ritual or that substance or whatever it is. So it's a very positive type of destruction. And you can call on him to help you to implement that in your life. Thank you, Damon. Who's next? We have Delia. So she helps with growth, both of plant life, but also of any sort of concept or idea or project or anything like that you need to kind of tend to and nurture to see long-term growth. That's what she's really good at. So you can call on her to help you with this specific growth of whatever it is that you're looking to tend to. But she also likes flowers, so she does help with plants. Literally any kind of growth. Okay, thank you, Delia. Okay, we have an angel of justice. This is sort of similar to the angel of compromise, but it's different because the compromise is about creating balance and justice does create balance, but this is a different kind of energy. So this angel represents the energy of justice being done. So this is helping to balance any imbalances within justice or archetypes of justice in your life. So where things are unfair, anywhere where there's unfairness, you can call on the angel of justice and they'll help you. I was going to say he, and then I was going to say she, and I'm realizing that this angel of justice is neutral, so it's a they. So I guess angels can also be gender neutral. I love that. They will come in and help you with that. Yeah, because they're all about balance, and that makes perfect sense because justice is neutral. Justice for gender equality too. I don't know, I'm just making that connection on my own. Anyway, thank you, angel of justice. Oh, the angel of justice is also the angel of justification and adjudication. Okay. it's also connected to legal matters. So you can call on this angel when you're doing any kind of paperwork, or you're trying to balance out a legal matter, or any contracts, big or small, anything like that. And that angel will help you with that. Oh, okay. You have the angel of simplicity. So this angel helps you to simplify things when they become complicated. You can call on her when things are a bit chaotic. If there's too much going on and you feel overwhelmed, she helps to simplify. So she'll help to give you the tools to be able to make things much more simple, to find a simple solution, or to boil something that's complex down into something that's very succinct. That's what she's very, very good at, and she will help you with that. Okay, we have an angel of trade. This angel specializes in dealing, any kind of fair trade. Yeah. And their energy is very much based in fairness, equality, balance, reciprocity, making sure that relationships and deals are win-win, that there's no imbalance on either side, that both parties are satisfied and represented well. Kind of has like a barter or a merchant type of energy, but also a little bit like a lawyer type of energy. So it's kind of a little bit of that justice energy, but mixed with more so like a mercantile type of archetype, like a merchant. So they help with making fair deals, basically making sure that you're represented and you get your fair share in return when it comes to finances, when it comes to relationship agreements, when it comes to anything like that. Work, even shopping, he says, like even little things like shopping. You can call on these angels for little things too. It doesn't have to be like big mission stuff. They're happy to help with anything, and they want something to do, right? Because if you don't call on them, they just kind of sit around. They want something to do. So give them something to do, even if it's small. Nothing is too tedious, they say. They want to help. Let them help. They can't help without your free will. You have to call them. You have to ask. So he's like, I can help you get a good deal at the grocery store, on that TV, on the house, whatever you want. I'll help you get a good deal. So call on that angel for that. All right. Angel of love here. She helps you to embody the energy of joy, joyous love. That this is the energy of the beingness of love. Compassion is love directed. Whereas this type of love is just a beingness. It's not a doing type of energy. Compassion is more doing oriented. Love is more being. Yeah, okay, thank you. So you can call on her whenever you want to create more love within yourself, just to feel that feeling of joyous love, or to help other people to feel that as well. Okay. You have the angel of clarification. This is similar to the angel of, that one that turns on the light and helps you to see clarity, but it's a little different. They have sort of like different subsets of what they do, whereas the angel of clarity helps you to see everything a little bit more clearly. The angel of clarification is specific to communication. So this is making sure that when you are communicating clearly, and other people are receptive and understanding, and vice versa. So the angel of clarification can be used when there's any kind of misunderstanding in dialogue, or what you've said or what somebody else has said. You can call them if there's a misunderstanding, and this angel will come in and help to clarify things. This is perfect for Mercury retrograde, which we're in right now until the 18th of October. You can use the angel of clarification when there's any kind of misunderstanding or miscommunication, which can arise during Mercury retrograde. So that's great. Awesome. Thank you. Thanks so much. Okay, last one. So this angel came forward and said that they were the angel of dependence. And I'm like, what? That seems like a negative thing, right? We don't want to be dependent. But the way that they're showing it to me, it's like the angel of support, kind of, but not of dependence to the point of disempowerment or enabling. It's like being able to depend on somebody. It's that kind of thing. If you're in dire straits, you can depend on this angel to be there for you. So it's a different kind of context than I initially thought. So this angel comes in to help you to support yourself, to help you to support others, while not creating dependence despite the name. It's a little ironic, but I think that they did that on purpose. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Okay, they say they wait for your call. You can say it out loud. You can think it in your head. Any kind of focused mental thought will call them. So use them freely. So this is the next echelon of your ascension, is really working much more consciously with these energies and embodying them in your daily life. And it's going to start out kind of more mundane. And as you get more comfortable working with these energies, with yourself, with the angels, with these goddesses, you're going to be able to bring that to a larger audience if you so choose. And that is it for the channeled information from the session. I hope you guys found something of value here. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stick around. Thanks so much, guys. Much love.